I never thought I'd see the day when someone would unlock my front door without permission. But I definitely never thought that person would be an HOA Karen. And I absolutely never expected her to walk inside my house, only to freeze solid when she realized she wasn't alone. Because sitting calmly inside my living room were two police officers. And the look on her face in that moment? Pure, unfiltered terror. But to understand how we got there, how an entitled HOA president went from banging on my door to committing a felony right in front of law enforcement, you need to hear the entire story from the beginning. I'm a 41-year-old homeowner living in what used to be a quiet, boring suburban neighborhood in the Midwest. The kind of place where nothing ever happens. People wave, mow their lawns, complain about property taxes, and mind their own business. At least, that's how it used to be. I bought my house 9 years ago, long before the HOA turned into what it is today. Back then, the HOA was mostly inactive, a paper organization that existed just to maintain a small community park and collect modest dues. No drama, no power trips, no Karens. I work from home as a freelance IT consultant, which means I'm home a lot. I don't throw parties. I don't blast music. I don't bother anyone. By all accounts, I was the ideal HOA resident. Until she moved in. Her name was Linda, but everyone in the neighborhood quickly learned that her real title was HOA President Linda, and she made sure you never forgot it. Linda moved into the neighborhood about 2 years ago after buying one of the larger homes near the entrance. Within 3 months, she had somehow maneuvered her way into becoming HOA president. Red flag number 1. She was in her late 50s, always dressed like she was heading to a corporate meeting. Blazer, clipboard, oversized sunglasses, even when she was just checking the mail. From the moment she took over, things changed. Suddenly, lawns weren't trimmed enough. Trash cans were visible too long. Porch furniture was non-compliant. Decorations were unapproved. And fines started appearing out of nowhere. People were confused, angry, but intimidated. Because Linda didn't just enforce rules, she thrived on confrontation. For months, I managed to stay off her radar, until the day I replaced my front door. My old door was falling apart, so I installed a new solid wood one, dark oak, professionally installed, fully compliant with city code. But apparently it wasn't compliant with Linda's personal taste. 2 days later, I got a notice taped to my door. Unapproved exterior modification. Immediate action required. I laughed at first, because surely this was a mistake. I emailed the HOA politely, attaching photos, receipts, HOA bylaws showing doors didn't require approval. No response. Instead, I got another notice, then a fine, then another fine, and finally, a threatening letter. The letter read, "If compliance is not achieved within 7 days, the HOA reserves the right to take corrective action, including but not limited to entering the property to resolve violations." Entering the property. I read it 3 times. My stomach dropped. I immediately contacted a lawyer friend of mine, a real estate attorney, who confirmed what I already suspected. The HOA had zero legal authority to enter my home. Not even close. That's when I decided to document everything. And that decision is the only reason this story ends the way it does. Over the next week, Linda started showing up at my house, unannounced, standing on my porch, taking photos, peering through my windows. Once I caught her trying the doorknob. When I confronted her through the closed door, she snapped, "I have every right to ensure compliance." That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. So I installed interior security cameras, exterior cameras, and notified the local police non-emergency line about a potential trespassing issue. The officer I spoke to told me something chilling. "If she enters your home without permission, call us immediately. That's a crime." And that's when an idea formed. I didn't want a confrontation. I wanted proof. So when Linda emailed me saying she'd be conducting a compliance inspection the following Friday, I responded calmly. I told her I would not be home, and that was true. But what I didn't tell her was that my house wouldn't be empty. Friday morning, I left the house like normal. But instead of going to work, I met 2 police officers a few blocks away. I explained everything, showed them the letters, the emails, the footage. They agreed to wait inside my home, legally, with my permission. And then, we waited. At exactly 10:17 a.m. my phone buzzed. Motion alert. The camera feed showed Linda walking up to my front door, clipboard in hand, sunglasses on, expression smug. She knocked, waited, knocked again. Then she looked around and pulled out a key. My heart started pounding because she unlocked my door and stepped inside. The moment she crossed the threshold, everything changed. The door closed behind her and she froze. because sitting on my couch were two uniformed police officers. One of them calmly said, "Ma'am, can you explain why you just entered this home without permission?" Linda's face drained of color. Her clipboard hit the floor. She stammered, I'm the HOA president." The officer raised an eyebrow. "That doesn't give you the right to break into someone's house." Linda exploded. She yelled. She blamed me. She claimed HOA authority. She threatened lawsuits. The officers didn't raise their voices once. They simply asked, "Do you have permission to be here?" She didn't. They asked, "Do you own this property?" She didn't. They asked, "Do you understand this is unlawful entry?" And that's when it hit her. She was in serious trouble. Linda was escorted out in handcuffs, charged with criminal trespass, unlawful entry, abuse of authority. But that wasn't the end. Word spread fast. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Linda was removed, then sued. Multiple homeowners came forward with similar stories. The HOA was restructured. Fines were refunded. And I never received another notice. Karen thought she was untouchable. She thought power meant permission. She thought intimidation replaced the law. She was wrong, and the moment she unlocked my door was the moment her authority ended. If you enjoyed this story of entitlement meeting reality, like, subscribe, and comment if you've ever dealt with an HOA Karen. Because trust me, they're everywhere, and sometimes justice is waiting on the couch.